How do you feel when I say that?
I get panicky in my stomach, and I wonder if you can't control yourself, does that mean you're still somehow going to make it so that I can't be with my father?
Yeah. So you're really afraid that if my panic is so great, you're still not going to get your need met.
Yeah.
In fact, if you're taking responsibility for it or hearing any blame, I'm not getting the empathy I need.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I need is for you to take responsibility for it, because then I can't get the empathy.
Okay, well, as long as you're not asking me to take responsibility for it.
Well, I will when I don't have these ears on.
Right.
And that's especially the time when it will be important for you to empathize and not get caught up in that, not to hear what I think. But I'm making it easy on you now. I'm taking responsibility for my pain. All I'm asking for is just connection, just empathy. Later I am going to blame you a bit for it, just so you can get a chance to try out your new ears. But we're going at this gradually.
Okay. I can certainly do my best.
So let me say it again, and I'm not asking you to take responsibility for it, but just please hear it. Hear it when I say that I am in such agonizing hurt, and mixed all with rage, because when I don't have these ears on, the hurt turns into rage. But that combination of hurt and rage, and let's not get into whether it's caused by my own childhood. Intellectually, that's probably true, but that kind of thinking will get in the way of giving me the full attention I need to what's alive in me now. However it got started, what I need is someone to hear just this excruciating hurt I feel in relationship to your father and to you. So could you tell me that?
Tell you what I understand
Just what
you
I
just
just
said?
said, yes.
I hear that you are in such excruciating pain that you hope that I can hear that that's what's in the way of.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a connection with me.
Thank you. And when I really need you to have the same quality of empathy as you're giving me now, is when I'm communicating in those other ways that makes it a real challenge.
Yeah.
I need you to not just intellectually know that, but I need you to be here at those times.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If I'm capable of doing that, I certainly try.
So let's see if you're capable of doing it.
Are they on right?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't talk to me, talk to your father.
I'm gonna go slow here.
Yes, let's go real slow.
Blank.
Oh.
You don't. You feel. She's feeling. I need to know how she's feeling.
Yep. Even if you're stuck, just getting stuck is great.
She's feeling angry.
We don't have to guess right. We just have to guess human.
How am I feeling? Somebody's saying, or
Yes.
has she? No, I know. Right. She's feeling angry.
Are you feeling angry?
Are you feeling angry when you say that?
Because you're needing. What's the need behind it?
Because you're needing me to.
You're needing. Leave yourself out of there. What's she needing?
Because you need me to understand.
No, not me. You need understanding.
You need.
Don't mix up the need and the request.
Right.
She may want you to do some things to meet the need. But let's learn how to keep them separate. Just to hear the need separate from the request. So
You
you're
need
needing some
understanding
Yes, but I've long since given up the possibility that either you or your father are going to understand.
Give me my formula again.
So
Let's
you're
talk about how
feeling. Are you feeling?
Feeling and then her need.
Yes.
I keep focusing on her feeling and her need.
Yeah.
So you don't feel, no, not I.
So you're feeling.
You feeling hopeless about
Now you're cooking.
about being understood.
That's right. That's right. And I'm not going to suffer anymore. I've suffered enough with it, with you and your father. So if you want to talk to him, talk to him. But I'm not going to suffer anymore. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not going to suffer anymore.
You've been in a lot of pain about this for a long
Yes,
time.
I have. Yes, I have.
What kind of pain? Oops.
It's my old therapy training.
Yes, that shifts from empathy to psychoanalytic
Right,
jackal.
right. Right.
And in empathy, we're not trying to direct, we're trying to connect with. We're following the other person's energy.
Right.
We don't take them to somewhere else. What kind of pain? No, just connect with what's in them right now.
Right. So is that your, yes, you are?
And I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm not going to take it anymore. I've had enough.
You are tired, sick and tired of not feeling understood.
You're darn right. And being exploited.
You feel taken advantage of.
Don't go there. That's
No.
still a thought. What's the need
Yeah.
behind the judgment exploited?
Beyond the judgment. Need beyond the judgment. Yeah. You don't feel respected.
That's right. After all I did for your father, to not only not get the respect that I was deserving, to have happened to me what happens.
Yeah, you never felt seen for what happened to you.
I didn't get any, I not only didn't get the respect that I deserved, I got tromped on.
Yeah, you got very, very hurt and very
Yes.
stepped on, and
Now don't use the images.
Yeah, right.
Don't
No.
reinforce the images.
got very hurt.
Yes. Your need for respect wasn't met. So you keep coming back to the need.
Mm.
The need that's behind the images. Don't repeat the images,
Mm.
because every
Yeah.
repetition of the images just
Makes sense.
reinforces the jackal
Yeah,
thinking.
that makes sense. You got very, very hurt and disrespected.
No, that's another image, disrespected.
Ah.
See, that says that
Right.
your father disrespected. No, your need for respect wasn't met. Didn't leave it, let's not get into images of the other person disrespected. Your need for respect wasn't met.
Your need for respect was not met.
That's right. Now you've done a lot of work there. You've done a lot of work. I ask a lot of people, how many times in your life, if you've been in pain, can you remember having someone hear your pain the way she just did? Just hear the feelings and the need for even one time. Just even one. She's done it 3 sequences. I'd say half the people cannot remember a time in their life that they've gotten this much empathy, even when they didn't express it in a way that was so hard to give it to them. What they remember is their parents trying to give them the empathy by saying, here, have a sucker, maybe you'll feel better. Or you shouldn't feel that way, the other people meant well. But to get this kind of empathy, about half the people cannot recall one time they've gotten it, one message. And now this person, even though this person has been a real test for your ears, already 3 interchanges, and I think those 3 interchanges have already created a connection. We haven't solved anything yet, but these connections build the basis for which the solution can happen. But without this basis, forget any kind of resolution that will meet everybody's needs. Yes.
When the jackal said, when the jackal was, or you said to the jackal, so you want respect, and then the jackal said, yes, I want respect. In that situation, it's really hard for me, at least, to, like I would be thinking, well, you want respect, well, you don't deserve it. And so it seems like you almost at that point have to just put all your thinking about the situation aside.
And
in
if you
order
can't,
to
then you,
just
or
be
if
with-
you can't, you need to give yourself some empathy.
in order to just, like, just don't even get into the reality of the story, but just in order to keep kind of just playing with their needs and feelings.
And if you can't, then you need to give yourself some empathy. You need to stop and hear what's alive in you that's keeping you from hearing this person. And then,
But it just seems that you can't get into the story at all. You just have to keep just reminding yourself to just connect with the needs and.
generally, I would say in almost all of our interactions, going back into the story isn't going to meet anybody's needs. Talking about the past neither is going to heal or resolve.
I guess what I'm partly saying is that when someone says, I want respect,
Yes.
it's such a, on the one hand, I can see that you're saying it's just someone expressing their need.
Yes.
On the other hand, it's almost like inflammatory because it's in a way, or the way my ears hear it, is and you haven't been respectful.
It's implicit.
And
yeah.
so that's,
But
how do you deal with that?
And even if they say, and then they start to tell me the story. Because you did this, yes, so your need for respect hasn't been met. It's still alive, you see. It's still really alive. So you still have this need for respect that's not been met. Yes. And so as a giraffe, I know that going into the past isn't going to solve that. So I have to help this person get clear now. What are they requesting of me at this moment in relationship to that unmet need for respect?
Two questions, though. One is if they're wanting respect, if they say, well, I want you to respect me right now,
Yes.
that may not be, given everything that's happened, that may not be an option.
Well, the problem is, see, respect is not a request. That's the unmet need. Then I have to help this person get clear. What is their present request of me to meet this need for respect that hasn't been met? See? And to get that from a jackal is not going to be easy, because jackals are not used to living in the present and being clear what they want now. They live in the past. They say, you didn't do this, and blah, blah. Yes, and so jackal, could you tell me what you're requesting of me right now in relationship to that? You had no right, you did this. Yeah, but jackal, hold it now. What are you wanting from me right now? See? It's an almost unanswerable question for most people, because they're not alive right now. They're living in the past. So we need to help bring them to the moment, to help them to get clear. The healing can take place right now. It can happen right now. It can't happen in the past.
Can I just follow with, I'd be very interested in seeing you do that after we finish this, because that's where I get stuck. And also, the thing about it is because when there's, because that's it's those kind of statements which I hear as inflammatory that pull me back into the jackal, because when they say, well, if they said, well, I need your respect, I need respect, then I somehow get confused that I'm at fault because that I did it to them.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm wondering, how do
If
you
you don't
separate
keep,
that?
if you don't keep your attention on the present, what is alive in here right now? What is this person presently feeling and needing? And what are they wanting from me right now? If your attention isn't there, it will be very easy to hear criticism. And once you hear that, nobody's likely to get their need met.
But I guess what I'm saying is, are they criticized? You're saying the
There
statement.
is no such thing. There is no such thing as criticism. What we hear as criticism is a painful expression of please. Please, please, please. There is no criticism.
Even if they think they're being
There is no criticism. If you are a giraffe, there is no criticism. It does not exist. You are aware that what used to look like criticism when you wore jackal ears, you now see is a suicidal, tragic expression of an unmet need. That's all you hear. A need that's being expressed in a way that's going to be hard to get met by anyone who doesn't have giraffe ears on.
I'm wondering if you're confusing, what I get confused with is that if I hear someone say, I don't get respect, then it triggers my own need that hasn't been met. I mean, it just keeps
If you also have a
triggering.
need that is for respect that isn't met,
Right,
it's going to be hard for you to hear the others because your pain is there.
right. So I think that's where I,
And there'll be no problem as long as you see that. As long as you see, oh boy, this gets me in touch with my own pain.
right. Well, I
There's
was,
no problem as long as you're in touch with your pain and or the other person's pain.
right.
No problem.
Well, I was my culture was being brought up with pacifist parents whose the needs of everybody else, all the starving children in India and the Vietnamese who were burning up and Africans who were dying and everybody else, their needs were more important. So I didn't have any needs either. So for me to be giving Susan her needs is what's, I think, triggers, and I just wondered if it was the same thing. It's what's triggering my inability to keep hearing her wants, her wants, her wants, her wants, her wants, her need, her need, her need.
Yes.
And mine keeps getting obliterated
So
again and again and again.
So we have to teach you, in addition to empathy, especially given your background that you say, probably before we need to teach you more empathy, we need to teach you how to scream and giraffe to get your needs
Scream and
met.
giraffe.
Yes.
Oh, it's a new one. What's that like?
Screaming and giraffe
Screaming and
is
giraffe.
like this.
Sounds like fun.
This person says, I'm really feeling hurt and I have a need for some respect for, what I did. And then screaming in giraffe is, right now I'm in too much pain to give you that because my need for respect hasn't been met. And here's what I want from you. I want you to acknowledge what I did to create a relationship with you.
Ah,
You like that?
I like that.
Yeah. Notice I didn't scream any criticism. I was screaming what was in my heart. I was screaming my present feelings, my present needs, and my present requests. That's screaming in giraffe. There's a lot of pain, and if you have jackal ears, you'll hear hostility.
Yeah.
If you have giraffe ears, you'll receive a great gift. You'll see the excruciating pain I'm feeling.
But you're talking to a jackal.
If I'm talking,
You're already starting.
even if I'm talking to a jackal, that's less likely to provoke rage than other jackal statements. They may not be able to hear my screaming in giraffe, but I've been very amazed over the years that the more I scream in giraffe, even jackals can hear it sometimes. Because I'm really being vulnerable when I scream in giraffe. I'm really putting out my pain.
Mm.
And I've even been amazed at times how jackals have heard it. Yes?
What if the jackal says, I need you to say you're sorry?
Okay. I empathize with that. First of all, most of the time people think they want an apology or vengeance. Their real need is for empathy for their suffering. I've yet to see a person who's gotten real empathy for their suffering that still wants an apology. But see, if after I've given them the empathy, if they say they want an apology, I know they don't want an apology, but they want the real stuff, which would be they want to hear whether I'm mourning or not. And if I am, I'll say that. I won't say I'm sorry. I'll say, I can tell you this, I feel very sad that I wasn't able to hear your pain before this. And I've yet to see anybody who gets that wants me to say, I hate myself, I was wrong.
What if the request is, I want you to promise that you'll never disrespect me again?
I am a giraffe. I cannot ever promise what I'll do in the future. I can only tell you what my present intentions are. And I don't think anybody who's honest can ever promise you more than that. I can only tell you what my present intentions are. I cannot tell you what I'll do 5 minutes from now.
You don't care enough to tell me that you're going to...
No, I'm not expecting the jackal to hear that right away. I'm giving you that if I'm really a giraffe, I know I cannot promise anybody anything about the future. All I can do is tell them what my present intention is. Yeah.
I was thinking about my aunt who's in a lot of pain and has a lot of stories, as a lot of us do. And I was trying to visualize trying to have this conversation with her, although there's nothing between the two of us, but
Yeah.
just in her pain. And I could just, I couldn't think of her being able to actually be in touch with her present feelings.
No,
or
so
her
what you
needs.
have to do is interrupt her in giraffe.
And you have to keep interrupting, is that it?
Oh, very often, because, see, I had an aunt that literally, this is serious, for over 30 years, she told the same story over and over again. Hey, cousin, there's my cousin. And that's because none of us knew how to interrupt in giraffe, you see. So what did we do? Of course, during the family parties, we would try to leave before she got there. If we were too late, we'd go and hide under the bed, anything not to hear the story again, So the whole time she's telling the story, the family is sitting there like this, looking at the watch, holding the watch to the ears. I mean, because for 30 years she had deep pain, and she needed empathy for the pain, and she didn't know that talking about what happened isn't going to get you the healing you need, and we family members didn't know how to interrupt in giraffe. How would we have interrupted in giraffe when we had heard one word more than we wanted to hear? We would have said, "Excuse me, Auntie, are you feeling because you are needing?" See, nobody ever did that. I'm confident that had we done that, she would have gotten her needs met and not have to repeat this for 30 years. But she didn't know how to tell her present feelings. She thought that somehow by telling everybody the story, she'd get understood. Mm-hmm. Telling the story doesn't get us the understanding we need.
Well, I'm just wondering how a person like that...
like us.
Like us.
Yes.
Like me. Even if you're saying, okay, Auntie, what are you feeling right now?
No, you don't ask that.
Oh,
you guess.
Are you feeling?
Yes.
So, and do you need?
Yes.
Okay, but she doesn't know her feeling, and she doesn't know her.
No, but that'll help her get to it faster than anything. But don't expect her right away to do it. So, Auntie, so you be the auntie for a moment. Let's hear the story.
I can't do the accent. I don't. Is this on? Maybe it's supposed to.
Hold it up close to your mouth.
Is this useful? Okay. I know my children love me because even though
Auntie,
they don't come to see me.
Excuse me, Auntie. Excuse me. Already I hear the feelings and the needs. I don't want to hear the rest. So, excuse me, Auntie. I'm hearing you feeling a lot of hurt. That you really need some reassurance that you're cared for.
No, I'm not feeling hurt. I think that your mother doesn't understand.
Excuse me, Auntie. Excuse me, but if you're not feeling hurt, I'd really like to know then what you are feeling. Angry, sad. I'd really like to connect with your feelings.
Well, I'm just feeling frustrated because every time your mother is always saying
so you're feeling
to me,
frustrated because your attempts to connect with people are not working and they're not getting the connection you would like.
No, I connect with people very well.
Yes.
I don't, why are you saying that to me? I have lots of friends.
Yes. Okay, but then excuse me, then if I haven't guessed your needs, then I'd like you to tell me what the needs are. So I only guess one time, you see, and then if the person's still, then I'll pull them by the ears to help me hear, then have them tell me. So I'll guess once to help them get clear, but if they don't, I'll keep pulling them by the ears so that what I'm interacting with them at is the level of present feelings and needs, not hearing the story. Okay?
Do you want to keep going? Because I could tell you this story.
And I will keep pulling you by the ears to get you back here to the present, telling me your present feelings and needs.
Because you don't want to hear my story?
No, because I want to connect with you. Because I want to connect with you, Annie, and I don't want to be like I've done in the past, which is tune you out and avoid you every chance I get. I really want to connect with you. But in order to do...
I feel very hurt that you're saying that. Because
and I feel more connected,
with
and I feel more connected with you now than you're telling me this, that you're hurt, than I have in the past when you tell me the story. So I really want to connect with what's alive in you, Auntie.
I really don't even understand what you're saying at all.
And I feel more connection when you say that than when you're telling me the story. At least we're here in the present confronting each other. I feel more alive. I feel more connection.
We want to hear the story.
Yes. That's all she needs is people like you.
I'll go with
And
him.
you go and listen to the damn story for 30 years. Yeah, don't call me. Yes.
I was going to ask if you can you do this with Auntie and be in reaction? Can you listen and speak in giraffe and still be having perhaps your anger and your frustration?
Didn't you see me expressing it there? I got irritated and you know.
You didn't seem to be reacting though. You were.
I said I'm frustrated. I don't want to go into the past, Andy. I want to stay right where we're at right now.
So even a giraffe can be feeling angry and.
Giraffes are not nice. Giraffes are not nice. Don't think that to be nonviolent requires you to be nice. Much of the violence in the world is created by nice people who sit back no matter what's going on. No. Giraffe doesn't require you to be nice. It requires you to either be expressing your pain or your joy or hearing the other person's pain or joy. But if you're not in joy, then you're in pain. You let it be known. But you scream in giraffe. You don't scream criticism. You scream feelings, needs, requests.
Thank you.
Please speak into the mic.
Okay,
thank you.
I know that the feeling I have is sort of rage and anger.
Rage and anger. Okay.
You're, I don't know, President Clinton or somebody in the government.
Let's see. Is that mic working, or do we have a better mic? Let's use the other one then. It's a little
How's that?
okay.
So I was saying
Check.
you'd be, you'd be President Clinton or somebody from the government, and I'm me.
Wait a minute. I'm President Clinton.
So I read recently that the U.S. government sold $22 million in weapons to the Sri Lankan government.
Yes?
And I feel, am I doing jackal or giraffe or just whatever?
Well, you tell me. Do you want me to put giraffe ears on this jackal?
It's better than a jackal response, yes.
Okay, so all right. Now this jackal has giraffe ears. Say it whatever way you want. Because with these ears on, this person can hear nothing except giraffe.
First response I had was a sense of helplessness and rage and anger at the fact of the arms sale and at the timing of it, given that apparently Norway has been in there talking about mediation between the conflicting parties, and just at that time to go in and get involved by selling arms seems really destructive, and I feel so scared of what's already been going on.